Hi guys, I am Muchakwa and I'm back with Math XYZ, and in this lesson we will be doing analytical geometry on how to find an equation of a straight line. Alright, in equation of a straight line we have a standard equation which is y is equals to mx plus c, and another equation is equals to which is equals to y minus y1 is equals to sorry guys, let me just write m nicely. Then is m into x minus x1, of which from those two equations we can see that both equations have m, which is our gradient. Our m is the gradient, and the equation of our gradient is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, of which from here again our c there stands for our y-intercept, and our y1 and x1 is the coordinate of another point in the graph. Alright guys, with those three equations we can now answer any question that has to do with equation of a straight line in analytical geometry, and also take into consideration about the rules of analytical geometry, which we have already done in our lesson of introduction to analytical geometry, which include collinear lines, parallel lines, and also perpendicular lines. With those in mind, you can answer any question that has to do with analytical geometry and finding an equation of a straight line. All right, let's do a question which is to find an equation of a straight line, of which this line is parallel to the line which has an equation of it's not y, it's equals to, which has an equation of 3y minus 12x, it's equals to negative 9. And this point is passing through, this line is passing through a point of 2:2. So what we have here, we are asked to find an equation of a line which is parallel to the line with this equation, all right? And the line that we have to find an equation for is passing through the point 2:2. So from here, what we do, guys, is to find, all right, the gradient. With this one, we know that gradient of parallel lines m1 is equals to m2, is equals to m3, is equals to m up to infinity. This is when you are dealing with parallel lines, the gradients, they are always equal. Then from here, to find the gradient, we just have to use 3y minus 12x equals to negative 9. Then we'll have 3y, it's equals to 12x minus 9. It will be 12x minus 9, and dividing with 3 throughout the equation, it will be y is equals to 4x minus 3. Alright guys, now we have our gradient, which is equals to 4. We know that this will also be the gradient of our new line, which we have to find an equation for. Then this one will be y is equals to mx plus c, of which with y is equals to mx plus c, we know that our gradient is equals to 4x plus c. Now we have one unknown, which is our value of our y-intercept. Then to find the value of c, we use another point in the graph, which is x is to 1. Then it will be 2 is equals to 4 into 2 plus c, of which c, it will be 4 minus 8, which will be negative 6. All right, then our equation will be y is equals to 4x minus 6. This is the equation of the line which is parallel to the line which is there. You can tell that it's true because our gradient are equal. Our gradient, they are both is equals to 4. All right guys, that's how we answer question when we have to do the equation of a line which is parallel to the line that you have to find an equation for. Please don't be confused when you see an equation like this. Just put it in a standard form like this. You just have to solve it and make y the subject of the formula and have x next to your gradient and also your y-intercept. When you are given an equation like this, just arrange it to be in a standard form of being an equation of a straight line. All right, let's do another question, of which in this question we are asked to find the equation of straight line, given that this straight line is perpendicular to the line which has an equation of 4y minus x minus 4y minus x minus 8 is equals to 0. You see, already we can see that this equation is not yet at the standard form of a straight line, but we can now rearrange it to be in a standard form that we want. And the line that we have to find an equation for is passing through point A, of which point A has coordinate of -2:6. Alright, let's rearrange this first equation, which is 4y minus x minus 8 is equals to 0. To do that, we have to have y as our subject is equals to x plus 8. Alright, then we're going to have y is equals to 1 over 4x plus 8 over 4. Sorry guys, 8 over 4 will actually be is equals to 2. Alright, then we have y as our subject for formula. Y is equals to 1 over 4x plus 2. Alright, from here we have the gradient, which is equals to 1 over 4, and we are told that this equation here, this line here, is perpendicular to the line that we have to find an equation for. And remember, with perpendicular lines, that means m1 multiplied by m2 is equals to -1. This is the rule of perpendicular lines, that m1 multiplied by m2, the product of that, it will give you -1. Then to find that, we have the first gradient, which is 1 over 4 multiplied by m2 is equals to -1. And then from here we can now find the second gradient, which is m2, it will be equals to -4. Now that we have y is m is equals to -4, we can now take this and substitute it into our equation of a straight line, which is y is equals to mx plus c. We have our m now, which is equals to -4x plus c, and our y. We have another point in the graph, which is a is to -2:6. We can take this and to find our value of c. Then from here we're gonna have 6 is equals to -4 is to -2 plus 6. So it will be 6 is equals to 8 plus c. Our c, it will be equals to -2. Alright guys, and then from here, now that we have our c equals to -2, we can just substitute it into this equation, and we're gonna have our -4x minus 2. Sorry guys, it will be -4x minus 2. This is an equation of a straight line that we are asked to find. Alright guys, so with the equation of a straight line, when you are given a line which is perpendicular to it, just multiply the two gradient to get -1 using this equation. m1 multiplied by m2 is equals to -1, and then our first gradient is 1 over 4 multiplied by our second gradient is equals to -1, and then we can find the value of our second gradient, which is m2 is equals to -4. And you are given an equation like this, please always arrange it into our standard equation of a straight line, which is y is equals to mx plus c. And then from that you will see that it becomes easy to derive the gradient from it. Alright guys, let's do another one. Let's do another equation. So our next equation, we are asked to find still the equation of a straight line, which is vertical line passing through point. We are asked to find an equation of a straight line, which is a vertical line passing through point 3:5. Alright, it looks like the same as the one that we did from our previous lesson about line which is parallel to the x-axis and line parallel to the y-axis. Well, this one, what we need to do is to draw so that you can have a view of how this would look like. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3. Same in the Alright, in the y-axis we have 1, 2 into 3. This is not drawn to scale. So we have our point there, which is 3:5. Alright guys, from here we are told that it's a vertical line. So that means that our line, it won't be horizontal like that. It will actually be vertical. That means that it's parallel to the y-axis. So this is our vertical line. This is the line that we have to find an equation for. So this line, we can already tell that the equation for this line, it's x is equals to equals to 3. Sorry, positive 3. X is equals to 3 is the equation of that line. Alright guys, I hope you understood this one as well, that if it's vertical line, the equation will always be x is equals to something. And if it's horizontal line, the equation for that, it will always be y is equals to something. Alright, the next question says that we must find an equation of a horizontal line which passes through point -8 to -2. Alright, I won't even erase this, I will just write, do this in the -2. Okay, the scale for those two guys, I will change. It will be -2, -4. It will be 2, 4, 6. So this one, it will be -4, -6, and -8. So here, it will be -8 is to -2, which is -6, -8. So this will be somewhere there. Alright guys, and for this one, they are saying that this is actually a horizontal line. That means that it's passing through at 8. So this horizontal line that we have, guys, it means that it's y is equals to -2, because it's passing at y it's equals to -2 at this point. So if the equation says it's a horizontal line, the equation will always be y is equals to something. And if it's a vertical line, the equation will always be x is equals to something. Just consider that you have to draw questions like this. It's better for you to draw so that you can see how the line is passing through. Alright, it's the same as being if a line is parallel to the x-axis, or if the line is parallel to the y-axis. If it's parallel to the y-axis, then the equation will be x is equals to something. And it's parallel to the x-axis, then the equation for that line, it will be y is equals to something. Alright guys, I hope you understood this lesson as well. And if you didn't, please, or if you just need to have a clarity on something, on what we're doing here, please just drop us a comment, and then we'll have a follow-up on it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and you will continue to share and subscribe to Maths XYZ so that you can have a notification every time when we upload videos. Thank you.